So the challah making can be easier and quicker, and all those things.
Hi, Tamara.
Hi there.
Hey, is Connor around? We want to say hi to Connor. Just take those breaks so we can say hi to him. No, we have to. Hi, Connor.
Hi.
Okay,
Hi.
Menucha's going to start us off.
I have to say what I said.
Yeah, no, just say, speak it loud.
I have to say it again.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
In your box you have everything measured.
Okay, so in our box, some of you guys may have gotten this box. Some of you guys may have the ingredients at home and may not have gotten the box. But the box has everything pre-measured. I'm just gonna quickly go through all the stuff that are in the box, and then we're gonna get started. So here we have a small bottle of water. I don't know if you guys can see. There, small
No one
bottle
could
of
see.
water. Okay, we have 2 things like this of oil. You have your yeast. We have 2 of these of yeast, I believe. 1 of these of salt.
Hi, Susanna. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Join us. We'd love to see your beautiful face. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
3
coming
eggs.
back.
2
Wait
eggs
a
go in
minute,
there.
I'm
2
getting
eggs go
there.
in there.
Okay, and we have 2 eggs. If you got the box, all these ingredients will be ready for you. If not, some of you guys may have the ingredients at home ready to make challah with us.
Hi, Heather.
Hi. Hi.
Let's do it. Hey, guys, start.
Okay.
We can start with
Okay. No, start with the flour. Sugar.
Go.
What do we start?
Water. Always water, sugar, and always start. Okay, so when we start challah, this is how it goes. We start with our water, our yeast, and our sugar. We want to make sure that the water is perfect temperature. Now, how much water do they have? Only, how many ounces? Read the bottle. Only 8 ounces. So really, this recipe actually calls for 2 cups of water. Why did we only give them 1 bottle of water?
Cause you need almost like warmish water, but not too hot, but not too cold.
Not too hot, not too cold, because we'll kill the yeast. You want to make sure your yeast is nice and active, because the few times I made challah with inactive yeast, they were better for weapons. They were better for weapons than for actual delicious, yummy, homemade fluffy challah. So what do we do?
1 cup of
Room temperature.
room temperature water, and then 1 cup of hot water, so that you got that perfect balance.
Okay.
So 1 cup, this has been in the fridge. Should we just do one cup room and 1 hot?
Well, if that's been in the fridge, that's fine. The hot will balance it out.
Boiling water.
Okay. So, should we stick it in the water in the microwave? So we're going to probably get it from the fridge.
Well, if you get 1 cup of hot water from anywhere else in your house, if you have a hot water kettle or urn, you want to just do 1 cup of the hot water.
Plus,
Here you go. 1 cup. How much did you do? You did 1 cup. She did a good job. Wow. Okay. Here, I'll give you your 1 cup.
it's a little hot.
You did your hot water yet?
I did my
No.
It's a little hot.
Explain the water.
Okay,
Why don't you let her go? Go ahead.
1 cup of the water should be, so we have 2 cups of water. The kit only came with 1, because the other one needs to be hot water. Because the yeast can't have too cold or too hot, so you put 1 cup room temperature and 1 cup hot, so that creates a perfect balance for the yeast, so that it doesn't kill the yeast.
If your yeast is too hot, if your water is too hot, you'll kill the yeast. Yeast is a living organism. So if it's too hot, you'll kill it. I've done that before. If it's too cold, you won't activate it. So if you start with 1 cup either room temperature or cold and 1 cup hot, you'll end up with a perfect temperature. So basically pour it in, and then yeast, since it's living, what does it eat? What does it eat? Sugar. Say it louder.
It eats sugar.
So it's perfect. It's room temperature. So put in your.
So-
guys, I think that some of us are still working on that getting water hot.
No problem. You know what? While everyone's getting the hot water, what I will say is you could take your yeast, which you should have 2 tablespoons of yeast measured, and pour it in, and you can put in your sugar. Go ahead.
Okay.
Speak.
So put this
Yeah,
in.
but I'm just gonna stay more hot than we found out on the
Great. Okay.
Just confused with Mom.
Yeah?
It's 2.5 cups hot, 2.5
No, 2 and 1 and 1. What? It's 2 cups total. Okay?
Okay, so in other words, you're not following the recipe on the pamphlet.
I gave you everything measured, except for the water.
Okay.
Everything is measured except for the water. Because that batch gives you like 8 challahs, and I didn't want to do that to anyone's freezer. So we're going to do the 4 challah batch.
Okay.
I gave you a full recipe, but we measured the half because otherwise you're going to be up all night braiding and baking and cooling and wrapping. We felt bad.
Okay, so I have a quick question about the hot water, cold water thing.
Yeah.
Connor wants to know, should he go ahead and first of all, are we using 2 bowls or 1 bowl?
1 bowl.
1 bowl.
Easy as possible. We always like things to be easy here. The easier the better.
Connor should go ahead and pour this 1 cup into the bowl, and then I'll measure. And if my water will be, should I stop my water before it's boiling?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a rolling boil. It just, you want it to be hot enough that your temperature, that it's like, you could still touch it, but it should definitely be warm, like seriously warm. You don't want it cold. So then once you have your water and your sugar, go ahead. Mussie's gonna take it from you.
110 degrees.
Thank you, Sarah. Sarah says 110 degrees. I haven't cooked with a kitchen thermometer ever. I think I did once or twice. Anyone who knows me in the kitchen knows that a thermometer would take way too long for me. Yeah, go ahead, explain. Okay, go ahead, Menucha. Explain the water and the sugar. Yeah, stir it lightly. And then wait for it to bubble.
Okay, so now once you have all your ingredients in, your yeast, water, and sugar, you just want to lightly stir it so the sugar doesn't go.
You want to dissolve the sugar.
You want to dissolve the sugar.
Both. Everything's pre-measured. So this recipe is 2 tablespoons of yeast. So you want to put them both in. Okay, still warm. We'll active. Both. Tell them both yeast.
You're gonna put both of your yeast cups, both of them. It comes with 2. Put both of them.
I think that's both of these, right?
Yes.
My instructions say 5 cups.
Okay. Sorry, Sarah, I explained something interesting. Sorry about that. Let me explain. So I apologize. I should have clarified. The recipe in your booklet is for a 5-pound, 8 large challahs. I pre-measured everything to smaller ingredients, and on Facebook I put the smaller ingredients, and everything's measured, so you're good to go. Okay, does that make more sense? Does that make sense? My water feels a little, my yeast doesn't feel, why is it too, Tati Menachem keeps calling and I can't answer. Yours is too hot, yours is too cold. You can put, look at mine looks, okay, I just want to show you something interesting. I think I put too much hot water. Look at mine, okay? Do you see how like flat it is in like very short amount of time? Menucha, here we have a living example. Menucha's water, it looks like it was exactly the right temperature. Look at hers. It's right away starting to bubble. And that's called proofing the yeast. And Musia's is a little too cool. We have too hot, too cold. We're like Hansel and Gretel here. I don't know, not Hansel and Gretel. We're like the 3 beers or whatever it is. Too hot, too cold. And Musia's a little cooler, so it's going to take a little longer for it to be active, but it's not killed. I'm not sure if mine is alive or not. I will wait and see. I'll know it's alive if it starts to froth and bubble on top. That's how you know. Oh, hi, Max.
You gotta go or no?
Okay, explain. What'd you say? Dahlia, what was your question?
Are we adding the sugar in with the yeast and
Yes.
water?
Yes. Yeast loves sugar, so you add the sugar in and you let it bubble. That's your sugar. Yep.
Put it in.
I think that's.
Where are we?
So far, explain. So far, who we should grow?
So far, what we did is we just added the 1 cup of room temperature water, 1 cup of hot water, our sugar, and our yeast, and now we're just waiting for it to bubble.
Okay. Now, while our yeast is bubbling, what I wanted to mention is the batch in the middle I'm doing with honey. So, oh, that's maybe why it didn't work. I'm doing with honey. I'm going to do a honey whole wheat. It's the exact same recipe. that I will post on the bottom of the link. It's the exact same recipe, but instead of sugar, I put honey, and I'm putting whole wheat. So far, clear? Just raise your hand if you did your flour, your yeast, and your sugar, and it's good. And your water. Not flour, sorry. Oh, gosh. I can't speak. You want to take over?
Water, yeast, sugar.
Water, yeast, sugar, bubble. While it's bubbling, just raise your hand. Perfect. Okay. Once you have your water, yeast, and sugar, and they're bubbling, Max, I see you and Danielle joined a little later. We gave you 1 cup of room temp water. You need 1 cup of hotter water because it's a total of 2 cups of water. Okay?
He's doing it.
Yeah, now you'll see the yeast is...
We have 2 kits here, right? So it's 1 little serving, 1...
No, you have 1 kit. I gave you guys 1 kit.
Okay.
Okay? So just add 1 more cup of hotter water. Now, I just want to show one more thing. All the yeast goes in. It's pre-measured. Okay, look over here. Menuchas is bubbling beautifully, frothing, bubbling beautifully. Mine, which I thought was maybe not, it was too hot, it turns out it's okay, it's getting there. Musyas is also getting there. The environment is also a little warm, it's getting there. Any questions so far? Okay.
How much yeast and how much sugar was in there?
Okay, so this is a half batch. Our half batch, I'll actually, Barbara, and on Facebook I tagged the recipe, but 2 cups water, 3/4 of a cup sugar or honey, 2 tablespoons yeast, 2 eggs, and then we'll do the rest of it is 2 eggs, 1 tablespoon salt, 6 tablespoons of oil, and 2.5 pounds of flour. Barbara, we wish you lived closer because we could give you a challah kit to go.
I know. I was thinking about coming, but it was raining all day.
I hear you. I get it.
I'm observing.
Good. Perfect. All right. So while our yeast bubbles, we want to explain something beautiful. Go ahead, Connor. You have a question?
No, I didn't really. Okay. I was just asking for the ingredients again. The amount.
Oh, I could post it. I could post it. I posted it on Facebook, and I'll send it right now to you as well. Okay? Okay. Right. So now I just want to explain one beautiful thing. In a Jewish kitchen, we always know that obviously food is so tied into a lot of things: emotions, identity, tradition. Food has is a huge factor in human experience. We need to eat, right? So we know it's important. If something's powerful and important physically and emotionally and psychologically, it also is important spiritually. Because if it's a truth, if it's significant in one area, it's significant across the board. So the Lubavitcher Rebbe actually taught us as Hasidim that we should actually before we prepare food for ourselves and our family, we should actually make tzedakah, the core value of tzedakah, become a part of our home and to be part of a family. So we know tzedakah, the value of thinking of others and giving to others, is always so important. So it's such a strong Jewish value. And we're supposed to give tzedakah every day. But actually, before we bake challah, it's a tradition to give tzedakah. Because challah is one of the 3 significant feminine mitzvot. And so is tzedakah. Before we're doing something that's going to feed and nurture and nourish ourselves and our family, what do we want to do? We want to say, this is great that I'm about to eat this delicious food that's so nutritious and yummy. And everyone knows hot, fresh challah from the oven is, well, there's nothing like it in the world, right? We all know that. Challah therapy is a real thing. Ask anyone. Students are stressed. I'm like, come on over during finals, have some challah therapy. Bake challah, knead challah, eat challah, nothing like it. So what we have here is, it wasn't good enough that there should be a tzedakah box in the room, but actually a tzedakah box a part of the home. So we actually have on the wall of the kitchen, if you could see, I don't know if you could see, we have beautiful tzedakah box that goes on the wall. Has a little hole to be anchored on the wall. If anyone wants to get one of these for their kitchens, let me know. That it becomes a part of, first of all, these are aesthetic and stunning, right? But second of all, then it shows everyone and ourselves and our families that this home, this kitchen, that not just feeds and nourishes and nurtures, also, what else does it do? It's a home of giving. So before we give tzedakah, before we do it, we're gonna actually give tzedakah. And I have here coins. If anyone has a tzedakah box at home, feel free to do it. I will say, after you handle coins, you gotta wash your hands. Go get tzedakah and we'll wash our hands. You gotta wash your hands after you handle coins. Oh, this is so. Little teapot pot. Okay. So my hands are clean now. I gave tzedakah. Everyone, if you have a tzedakah box, feel free to drop a penny in, any little amount, just to remind everybody, remind ourselves and others that when we're eating and we're taking care of ourselves and our family, I scored, that we want to also think of others. It's a very important thing. Okay? Awesome. I see Barbara's tzedakah box. Okay, look back at our water and yeast. Look at menuchas. Look at this fluffy, frothy layer. Unbelievable. You see that? Feel free to show us your bowl if you see any fluffy bubbles. Mustias, which was a little slower because it was a little cooler. Look at it. Also, a beautiful, frothy, fluffy layer. Awesome. I see whose bubbles are that. And here's mine, which I thought was not alive. Turns out I had not yet put in the sweetener. And turns out that I just needed to cool off my water a drop, but it's also fine. So now that we have our water, sugar, and yeast. Musia, take it from here. The eggs, check the eggs, the oil, the salt. Yeah, Musia's gonna take it.
So now we're gonna do our eggs.
The box has 3 because I need to. Yeah, no, put 3 in just in case you get spot. And just
so we're gonna use 2 eggs.
In this recipe, just 2.
We're gonna use 2 eggs in this recipe, just 2. And we're gonna check them for blood. The reason why I'm checking them for blood isn't kosher, and so we can't have blood. So I'm just gonna check for blood to make sure there are no blood, so that
no blood spots,
make sure there's no blood spots, so we can have
look up.
challah.
Now I gave you 3 eggs in your kits because we're gonna use the one in case there was a blood spot, but the other reason is that we are gonna use the egg at the end to brush the challah, so you have a golden, beautiful challah. Yeah, show. So usually you could do it in a clear cup or a clear glass. You want to make sure there's not. Okay. Explain why we add the egg later because it's cool in it.
So the reason why we only added the egg now is because when the egg could hit the hot water, it could cook the eggs, and we don't want to cook the eggs, so we're adding them later so that the eggs don't cook. And once we have our eggs in, we're going to add in our oil.
Which is ready. Both containers.
Both containers of oil to ready pre-measured.
So beat the eggs?
No, just put them in. No, just put them in.
No, just put them in. You don't have to
We'll
beat
mix
them.
them.
You put the 2 containers of vegetable oil?
Yes, both containers.
Each one has 3 tablespoons.
Each one has 3 tablespoons, so it's 6 tablespoons of oil.
Connor's oil.
Yeah?
So go ahead and ask.
Connor, what's your question, sweetie?
He wants to know if we should beat the eggs or just slide them right in.
Just put them right in. You're going to mix them anyway.
Yeah, it's 1 tablespoon.
Okay, so now that we have our oil and eggs, we're going to add in our salt. It's 1 tablespoon of salt. We're just going to add that in. Are we mixing it all together? Mom?
Both containers of oil?
Yes, both containers of oil.
Mom,
Just bring up the yolks, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Now we're going to start mixing and break it up. Explain that.
So once we add our salt and our eggs,
so they go in which bowl?
You're using only 1 bowl the whole time. We keep it simple. Our kitchen, we like to keep things very simple. 1 dirty bowl. We don't need more dishes.
okay, so once we added our eggs, oil, and salt, you can just go ahead and start mixing it all together, breaking up the egg yolks, and just get it nice and incorporated.
Okay, so we're going to the eggs, add the egg to the yeast mixture and the oil and the salt, and then mix it up.
Yes.
The flour afterwards.
Yeah, we're going to start, once you break up the yolks, we're going to add the flour a little bit at a time, stirring. Yeah, Manucha's going to lead us in that, but I just want to show everybody. Okay, so you'll add the flour?
No, because you did the beginning so much. That's not beginning. That's not
Wait, you guys have to want to use the
I
side.
didn't talk on the beginning. No, because you were... See, I didn't... Yeah, because you were talking.
You guys are fighting with this.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, you start with the flour, you'll explain the need. Go ahead.
Can I show my
Yes, yeah.
shape?
Yeah. Show them. Go ahead.
Okay, so here, as you see on the top, it's very bubbly, like almost like a foamish.
Foamish, yeah.
But you really want to make sure that the eggs actually get broken up, even though they're under that frothy layer.
Okay, good, yeah. Okay, now add your, go ahead, add your flour.
Okay,
Great, good.
so
Go ahead and keep stirring.
Go ahead.
now we're gonna add our flour. A little bit at a time because you don't want to overwhelm the dough.
Wait a minute, because I'm traumatized. I've had too many times when the yeast doesn't cooperate with me, so I wanted to do that.
Dahlia, did you make sure there's a nice foamy, fluffy layer of oil? Not oil. Oh my, I can't speak.
Yeast.
Thank you. Dahlia, as long as there's a fluffy layer of yeast on top, like a foamy layer, then your yeast is going to be fine.
It's foaming, but there's nothing really.
Show me your bowl. Show your bowl. Show the camera to the bowl. We roll to the camera.
You see it?
Yeah, it's definitely starting to foam. Look at those bubbles. That's exactly what you want to see. You see hers? Ladies, you see Al Cohen's? Yeah, Al's. It's good. It's getting there. There you go.
Do I need to wait longer?
No. Once it's alive, it's alive. It means you did not kill it. That's good.
Okay, so we're just gonna slowly add in our flour and just mix it all together. And
Now I'm doing half whole wheat. I have half whole wheat here and half white flour. What I find with the whole wheat is I need usually a little less flour, and because it's denser, and I also need to let it rise longer because it's denser. It's a denser flour. So that's mine. I'm going in with the whole wheat on the mix. All right.
One container of the flour?
No, you're using both containers, but I would say add one at a time. Or add one, add a little bit.
1.5.
Yeah, Manucha's going to explain.
Like 1.5. Like I've been slowly, like around this much. Wait.
Go ahead.
Around like a half of the container.
Right.
Of
You want to
flour.
slowly
and
add
mix it.
and mix it.
And I'll start to shape that wonderful challah dough that we all love.
Okay. So just to show you, interestingly enough, with my whole wheat, I measured out the same amount as the white flour. You see this? I gave everyone 2 containers, which is 2.5 pounds. They were actually weighed on a scale. Anyone who knows me weighing things on a scale, right? Only because we love you guys so much that we did that, right? So look at this. I put in a lot less flour, and it's already coming together because the whole wheat is so much denser. Just so for those who want to learn how to do this with whole wheat, I'm going to end up using less flour. Go ahead, Tamara.
Is that 100% whole wheat? Meaning, did you use?
No. I did. This has half. This one.
Okay.
But yours, I obviously left white flour. They're doing the white flour ones. I'm just making a honey whole wheat one. And I'm basically just trying to show you how this recipe, you could do both. Now, what I would also say is look at this challah dough now. Once it got, look at hers. Hers is first like a batter. Whoops. Like a pancake batter, like a lumpy pancake batter. She needs to keep adding and mixing. Once it gets thicker, look at Musya's show. Musya is already looking like a dough. Then you got to just go in with your hands because this is where the challah therapy comes in. A little bit of cardio, a little bit of muscles. Go ahead.
So, it depends. I don't really know.
I
but
gave everyone extra.
when you have one full container in your bowl, it might it'll probably be able perfectly shaping.
Right, and then you want to just start doing this, kneading. And always one hand clean, one hand dirty. I start or not. We're showing all the options here. All the options. How's everyone's dough coming along?
Okay, Mark, can I show one thing of flour?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so this is one full container of flour, and it's more of a thicker pancakey
Cake batter almost, yeah.
Cake sheet batter, yeah.
And
It's a little
I'm a
thick.
perfectionist, so I'm still skeptical until I see the
No problem, Dahlia. You do your thing. We're not going. Let's be honest. None of us are going anywhere. We have nowhere to go. We're fine. We're nowhere to go. Okay, so now we're kneading and kneading and kneading. It could be. Now I just want to say something. It could be your dough will start coming together. See how this is starting to come together? And you won't need all the flour, and that's okay. It actually has to do with the temperature in your kitchen. It has to do with the temperature outside. It has to do with the type of flour you use. All those are factors when you're baking. You don't need more flour. No, you don't need more. Just keep mixing. Put a little flour in your hand. Sometimes, by the way, you don't need more flour in your dough. You need more flour in your hand. Sarah, how's it going? Girls, how's it going? Over there. We're muted. I'm not sure if it's going well. Sarah, is it going okay?
yeah.
I see Adam. Adam, how's your challah dough going? You going to show us? Adam's having a blast right now. Connor, how's it going? Now, once you're past the batter stage and you're adding more flour, get the spoon or the whisk out of the picture. You're done. Use the good old-fashioned, the spoons that God gave us, the forks that God gave us.
Trying to figure out how to do
Can I
it.
see?
Sarah, what's up? How's it going over there?
We're trying to figure out how to do it with 4 hands. We're talking
Maybe we take turns. Maybe we take turns. Okay, now I just want to show you kneading this. Look at it. It's kind of like a squishy Play-Doh. You see? You see my dough? Now I'm actually going to transfer it onto my counter. And I'm going to put a little flour on my counter. This is why we always make a mess in the kitchen. It's a lot of fun. The kitchen should be a dynamic, fun place. We don't believe in a show kitchen, right? You know, one of the things we're talking about is Rabbi and I have these beautiful plans for Chabad's kitchen to fix it and to improve it and to make it a proper kitchen. And one of the things we're talking about with the designers and with people is that we should have to make sure it feels like a home. I never want it to feel like a show kitchen, and I never want it to feel like a hospital kitchen, like an organization kitchen. I want it to feel like a warm, vibrant space. That's probably why we have pictures of students on the walls and bright colors. We want it. Hi, Lindsay. Hey, Abby. We're so glad you guys joined us. Hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take a group photo in a second. Everyone's going to have to smile. Yes, can you come and take a group photo? We have like a lot of us. I do need one. Okay, Susanna, we need to see her beautiful face in a second. Rabbi's going to take a group photo.
Yes, but I'm waiting for the border to put some charge in my cell phone.
Oh, okay.
I have a 30 hand, so he wants to get it for
Okay, hold on. She's going to come and do it. You have to save it, otherwise it's gone.
almost there.
All right, we see you.
Okay, we are back in business.
Back in business? Yes. Can you come here and then we can warn everyone to smile? Yes, can you do it again? Thank you. All right, everybody, let's smile for a second because we're going to have Rabbi take a group photo of us, all of us in our own little kitchens. Hold on. No, just Prince. There you go. On your mark, get ready, get set. Hold on, we don't see Max. Where's Max? Max, get back here. He ran away. Okay, Mark, get ready, get set, go. Perfect. Okay, now look at this dough, by the way. Could you see this? A little bit of mixing, a little bit of kneading. Now look at Musyas. Show everybody. Pick it up. Yeah, show. You gotta show everyone. No one can see. Just show them the different phases of the dough.
I'm still working at it.
Now look at the different phases of dough. We have menuchas, slow and steady, thick and battery. She's adding her flour cautiously, slowly, perfectionistly. I don't know where she got it from. She's smart. We have Musya who just, both hands right in there. Right, Mus? Show us. Show everyone your beautiful dough so far.
So far.
It's getting there. Look. And now there's really no substitute for really good old-fashioned yadayim, as Mus Nucha just said. Your hands. You're just... Go. What's your question? Go ahead.
At what point, at what point do we start doing it with our hands and stop with the spoon?
Once your spoon, honestly, the beautiful thing about dough making is you'll learn on your own. Once that spoon can't move around anymore, that's it. That's a sign. Get rid of the spoon and replace it with your hands.
They're too sticky.
So musik menuchas is still a little stickier. Add a little bit more flour. And there's no substitute for good old-fashioned kneading the dough. A little bit of palms. Use your palms. And if it gets too sticky, sometimes you just flour your own hands.
Okay, I'm done with this.
Like that.
I'm done with this one.
You're done with the spoon. She's done with the spoon. 1 hand or 2 hands. By the way, you see what a blast and a mess this is? By the way, the Challah kit did not come with cleaning help. I'm sorry. We're not coming to clean your kitchens. Lindsay, is that why you just decide you're going to join for the couch, huh? Abby and Lindsay, it's good to see you. Okay, so now my dough is getting there, really getting there. Okay, then we're going to explain the mitzvah challah in a second.
You're going to explain the mitzvah challah.
Do you guys want to say anything about challah for yourselves? Okay, my dough is ready to rest. Now, when you're not on Zoom and doing this in a rush, what you would do is cover it, let it sit in the bowl for about an hour, then punch it down, let it sit for another hour. Anyone who's ever been in this kitchen, Carly, you've been in this kitchen, Max, you've been in this kitchen for challah making, Lindsay, you've been here for challah making, Susanna, you ladies and gentlemen know what? We never do that in this kitchen, ever. We just, you know,
We need to get quick.
we keep moving. Okay, so now Menucha's in with her kneading. You see Menucha's just straight in. While the girls are kneading, I want to explain where the idea of mitzvah of challah comes from. So everyone thinks of challah as delicious braided bread, but the truth is that if you go to Israel and you want bread, what do you ask for? You don't ask for challah, you ask for the word in Hebrew. How do you say bread in Hebrew? Yeah, lechem. Lechem means bread. So what's this interesting mitzvah? Challah means to take, set aside, to separate. And what we actually do is we take a piece of the dough that we make and we set it aside and we separate it and we actually make a special blessing and we actually burn it. Now that seems like an interesting thing. Why are we burning a piece of dough? We know that every mitzvah has to have meaning and no, you have enough flour. You have enough flour. Meaning and depth and purpose. And it's also mitzvot are not just opportunities to connect, but mitzvot are opportunities to elevate our life and the world around us. So how can me burning a piece of dough elevate my life or other people's lives? Everything in Torah is so intentional. What is this one? It kind of seems like a strange, keep going because you're hand eating. Seems like a stranger, I know, it seems stranger. So let me explain a drop. Number one, hers is going, you just need more flour. Number one, there's historical context. Historically, during the time of the temple, there was actually a show table. It was called for the showbreads. It was a beautiful golden table with 12 slots, 6 on each side, where the Jewish people, as part of their offerings, I definitely have dough in my hair, would bring loaves of dough as an offering. Now, who benefited from those? That was for the high priest. The high priest's role, the Kohanim, not just the high priest, but the priests and the high priests, their role was to serve the community and take care of the community. And so they didn't have time to go planting wheat and going to the mill and, harvesting. And they basically took care of the people and the people took care of them. So one of the offerings was actually this bread. So one reason we do it is to remember the fact that we lived in a temple period. We had this offering. We were able to bring this dough. That was one of the sacrifices. But we also know there has to be a relevant, timely 2020 message because the Torah is Torah Chaim. It's living, it's vibrant, it's evolving. And we don't just do things to remember them, right? Even the Passover story, we eat matzah, yes, it's to remember, but there's other things. So what we actually are doing with the mitzvah challah is it's a hopeful moment where we remember that time when we lived in a peaceful era, in an era of sovereignty, Jewish sovereignty in the land of Israel was our golden period. And it's hopes and prayers that we return back to that time period with the coming of Mashiach. The other reason we do it, and here's the beautiful thing, that when we study Kabbalah or mysticism, it always kind of sheds light on something new. And it's like, oh, I'm doing this, but now let me understand why I'm doing it. It's the why behind things. It's the deeper layer, the deeper, more mystical secrets. So challah is actually an exercise on appreciating the gifts we have in our life. So who here is missing school? Now, when you were in school, did you appreciate school? And seeing your friends? Not always, right? Or maybe you didn't you took for granted sitting at the lunchroom, eating lunch with your friends. There's certain things that we take things for granted. We take people for granted. We take experiences for granted. Maybe my cell phone is really awesome, but then the new cell phone comes up and I must have the new cell phone. Or I have this dress that I love, but then all of a sudden my friend has a nicer dress, and then I want that dress. So sometimes in life we could take things for granted. So Judaism, mysticism, Kabbalah teaches us that Challah is an exercise in recognizing that all the materialism we have comes from somewhere, and we have to appreciate it. Meaning you could go and become a doctor and be a really, really successful doctor, or you can become a doctor and not be such a successful doctor. We could do, and all our success, as much as we have to roll up our sleeves and work hard to make our dough, literally, metaphorically, at the end of the day, we have to appreciate the blessings and the gifts we have in our life, and we thank Hashem for them. So when we separate a piece of dough, we actually want to, I'm putting a little bit more, I'm getting your dough a little kneaded. What we want to do is we want to thank Hashem and remember the fact that we are so grateful for all the materialism that we have, all the gifts that Hashem gave us, and we can't take it for granted. Now, look at Masia's dough. Look at that beautiful, a lot of kneading. I see some really nice doughs coming up. Show everybody your dough and touch it. You'll see it's not sticky anymore. You see how she's touching it and it's not too sticky anymore? Her hand's not getting stuck to Susanna. That's great looking dough. Who else's dough is? Gali's dough is coming along. Who else's dough? Max, how's it going?
We've been adding flour to it, it's so sticky.
Keep going. Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to overflour it. I'll taste the flour. Can I mention that?
Say that. Yeah. Yeah, Tamara, go ahead. Connor.
What do I do with the piece of dough?
We'll do it together, okay? We'll do it together. So what I wanted to say is, here's this. We take off a piece of dough, and once the dough is made, we'll say a blessing. Now, when we say the blessing, we actually have in mind it's a really powerful time for blessings and asking for prayers for other people who are in need. And so every time we make
Get off a little bit and go in a room.
I won't be able to
Girls, I
make
have a
it.
quick question.
Go for it.
They won't be able to
We
make
use the same
themselves.
bowl that it's got flour and everything in.
Yeah.
Put it all back in to let it rise in there.
If you want to let it rise in there, you can, or we're gonna we'll shape it together, and then we'll let the dough rise once it's shaped. So then you can shape it and bake. We could shape it together and then bake it on our own. Does that make sense? You could just let it rise once it's shaped. Now I gave you pans and I gave you parchment paper. My favorite thing to bake on is parchment paper because it just,
Any more flour?
no oil, no stickiness. Okay, you need to drop more flour. I just want to show you, see how different it is? This is my leftover flour because I used whole wheat. She had a stickier one. She needs a little more flour. You don't need that much more flour. Just less is more. You don't want to put too much flour, actually. Then it's too dense. Explain. What did you say?
Can I also see that?
I didn't hear.
You put too much
No,
flour.
I can't hear you. I didn't hear what you're saying, so I think you should say it.
I'll
walk where you say it. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
If you put like overloads of flour, it will taste like flour. I'm learning. I know from experience, and it is not the tastiest. Put it that way. No, I'm full of stretching. I wonder if it'll come out bubbly. Huh?
Now, I just want to show you something else also, which is not related, but over here, I'll show you. Hold on. I have here going on. So anyone knows that quarantine life causes funny things. So these are my sourdough breads that will be baked tomorrow. We started making sourdough. Now, why am I showing you this? Because, okay, first of all, I have to do a stretch and fold, which is totally not related, so you got to do that. It's just time. But the other thing why I want to show it to you is because since this is made out of flour and water, I also need to take challah from it. I also need to take off a piece and burn it. It's not just challah that I use for Shabbat. Even if I'm making bagels, and my bagels are made with flour and water, anytime something is made with the 5 grains and water, it's a dough, you would actually take off a piece and make the bracha of challah on it, the mitzvah of challah. So this is not a sourdough lesson because I'm only on week 3 of it, so I'm not quite but I just wanted to mention that while I'm at it, that
Sourdough, first time?
third time. Yeah, it's quarantine made me do it. Yeah, feel it's a different type of thing.
If my hands keep sticking to it.
Put a little flour on your hands. Don't flour the dough, flour your hands. Ariel, is that Ariel or Daniel? Hey, Daniel, you're helping with the challah? Oh, it's Ariel or Daniel? I can't see. He's wearing a different shirt than earlier. It's definitely Ariel. Okay. Now we'll put these on the side. Now we're going to move our challah doughs together. And we're going to make a bracha. We're going to make a bracha and then we're going to shape it. You actually want to take off the dough. You want to take off the bracha before you shape the dough. So let's put it together. It's kneaded enough. Put it all together. We're going to bracha. Put it together. Are you going to explain your idea? Musti had a beautiful concept she wanted to say about kneading the dough. Go ahead. Say it. Don't be shy. Please say it. It's awkward. Go ahead. Say it. Oh, yeah? All right. I think you should. It's a mistake. Okay, you ready? You guys are going to put yours together and make a bracha. We actually have to do it together because we're not in the top. Let's go. Okay, put all our doughs near each other. 1, 2, 3, go. So we'll say the bracha together if your dough is ready. You ready? Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Kedishanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu Lahafrish Challah. Okay. I'll actually put these back in. Yeah. No. Any questions so far on this challah? Any questions on anything challah related? Okay. So here's the deal.
At what point do we stop kneading?
Well, once your dough is looking like dough, stop kneading it by all means. Like ours is done. I'm not kneading it anymore. Now we're sitting on the counter and we've made the bracha. We pulled off a piece of dough, and then after we pull off a piece of dough, we could start shaping it into beautiful challah rolls. Now, Liat couldn't join us today, but she actually is quite the pro. I don't know if you saw it, but Liat's quite the pro challah baker. She said she's going to show us how she shapes it at a different time.
Looking like dough. I don't need crab. I'm not so cheesy anymore. Now we're sitting at the counter and we make the bracha. We pull up the dough and then dough, so we can start shaping it into beautiful challah rolls. Now,
so someone it seems like is on Facebook.
Is quite the pro. I think it's probably our quite the pro.
Okay. All right, now I'm gonna get a knife roll. So start shaping and show how to shape.
We're also how many loaves does this make?
Depends on how you shape them. All right, this one will make. Okay.
How many loaves does
So here now I'm going to show you. This one should make around 4 medium-sized loaves, but it's your choice how big you want them. So I'm actually going to divide mine into 4. Cut my dough. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's where if you want to use a scale, you could, but ain't nobody got time for that, in my opinion. Or just my opinion. Now I'm going to show you. Musti and Menucha are going to show you different braiding techniques. I'm going to show you the easy peasy lemon squeezy one. Musti's going to show you 5. You'll show 4.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you the one blob cut. So basically take your dough and stretch it like this shape. Put it on the counter and cut 1 line, 2 lines, and 3 lines. Just cut 3 lines. This is the 1-minute braid. It's still attached at the top. I just cut, but I didn't stop it. And then you just braid it. The 1 minute. Look at that. 1-minute braid. I'll show you that again, just so you see. Stretch it kind of long. They'll show you fancier stuff. I'm not so fancy. Okay, over, under, over. Do you know how to do 4?
No.
Okay, I'll show 4 also. Menucha will show 3. 1 cut, 2 cuts, 3 cuts. See, it's still attached. I just cut it. Over, under, over, back, middle. Menucha, do you want to show any or no? You want to try to make a challah roll? Little challah rolls?
No.
Also, you can mold them and squish them. Don't be scared of them. Don't be intimidated. It's just challah. Okay.
These loaves makes 4. I mean, each of this dough makes 4.
Yeah, you see my challah? Look, I made the same amount.
Or 2 big ones.
Well, you can make 2 big ones. You can make 3 big ones. However you want. I can even take this amount, which would make a whole challah, and I can cut it into little rolls. Do you want to show rolls or should I show rolls? Menucha will show us how to make rolls. I'm meanwhile going to show us how to make a 4 braid. Go ahead. Show people how to do this. One of the things is with piece of dough that I separate for challah, I always move out of the way because otherwise I'll get back into my challah.
Look how nice layering. Look, I got this layering.
Okay, you want to make snakes. Who here played with Play-Doh in school? All of us, hopefully. Make snakes. You want to make your snake where your bubble is wide in the middle and skinny at the ends, because then you'll get a challah that's narrow, wide, narrow.
Mom, I got this bubble pop.
It's okay. It's needed, yeah. Come on, Mincha. Could you guys better move in?
Okay. So I have a very like smallish kind of ball. And we're going to actually roll this ball into a challah braid snake.
A challah snake. A little challah braid, a little one. She's going to make a little one. I'm going to show you how to do a 4, and Mussi's going to show you how to do 5.
Four braids.
A 4 braid, yeah, 4 strands. I'm going to learn how to speak English soon, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
4 loaves versus 5 loaves.
Oh, okay, no.
No. It's just like 3 braids.
Yeah, just how many braids? Because the braid looks a little different depending on how you do it.
It's good.
Yeah, beautiful. Show us.
Okay, so I have this
Single strand.
And I'm going to show you how to make these mini challah rolls that personally I love eating
Fresh out of the oven.
At my challah table. It's my own. It's my personal one that I don't know. I like it. You want it to be. It can be this size. It can be shorter than this size.
You want to be able to make.
You want to be able to knot it. So we're going to take the 2 ends. We're going to put it together. How you knot your shoe. And we're just going to knot it just like that.
Like this. And make a hole like that. And make a knot.
And this is my little knot. And you can make these. I know some of you guys are be making your big challah loaves. But you can take some aside to eat, when they come out of the oven. They're kind of nice, hot, and fresh.
Little samples. Okay. Next up, I'm going to show you 4. So I have 4 strands here attached. Now the way you do it is you go from the left over. Always start with the left, over, under, over. Now back to the left, over the first strand, under the second strand, over the third strand. Over. Yeah? How many strands do you want to do?
You lost. I could play 4, but you lost me.
All right. Make your 4 strands and attach them at the top.
Okay, so here's my 4. They're attached to the top.
Now start at the left strand.
Side,
And take the left strand and go over the next one, and then under, and then over.
Oh, okay.
And then go left again. Now start with the left strand again. Over, under, over. You keep going over, under, over.
How many
Under. Oh, wow.
As many as you want. Keep going till you get to the end, and then you'll see the difference between a 3 and a 4. This is a 3, and this is a 4. I happen to like the way the 4s look. No right, no wrong. I just happen to like the way they look. And I have little challah road nose. And Mussi's going to show us 5.
Okay, so
Wait.
Give us a chance to finish the.
We will not. We're not going anywhere. Do you guys want to say anything? Any funny challah jokes?
I don't have any.
Anyone have any challah jokes? We should have thought of some challah jokes. I feel like we need Rabbi here for challah jokes. Dahlia, how's your dough doing? Yao, how's your dough doing?
It's doing good. I put raisins in mine, so I'm trying to even out the raisins before.
Oh, yeah, you know what else? You can put jalapenos in your dough, chocolate chips in your dough, raisins in your dough, garlic in your dough, just go crazy. My only trick with the chocolates is don't put them on top because they burn. Put them inside. Yeah, Menucha's going to show us how to do chocolate. Okay.
Chocolate?
Yes. Okay, come closer. Yeah?
joke, but it's not a challah joke.
Tell us anyway, Heather. We need a good joke. We all need a laugh.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Baruch.
Baruch who? Oh, okay. Ha. Okay, Baruch who. That's what you say, Uvaruch Shemo. You got me on that one. You think I've heard all the knock knock jokes? Apparently not. Okay, Menucha's going to show us how to stuff the strands for chocolate, and Mussie's going to show us how to make a 5. Can you see Mussie well? Mussie, okay, they can see you well.
Okay, so we're gonna start by just connecting all of our 5 strands together, just so that we could start the braiding process. So once we have all our strands connected, we're just gonna take your right strand and put it in the middle. So you're going over 2 strands. So you're taking your right strand and going over 2 strands, and then you're going to take your left strand and go over 2 strands, and then just like this. Your right strand is going over 2 strands so that it will hit the middle, and then your left is also just going over 2 in the middle, just like that.
Pinch the top, pinch the bottom.
And then pinch the top, pinch the bottom, you can bunch it up a little bit, and then there you have it.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, so.
See all the different ones. She made 5. She did, okay, I will do one more. Here, no, this is her dough. This is her dough. This is your dough. Here's your dough. Here's yours. I know, I was just helping you.
How did she do 5?
She's gonna do it one more time.
1 second.
She's gonna do it again. Here, Miss, I'm gonna get you some strands here.
Okay.
Just do thin and wide in the middle.
So do we start by pinching everything on the top?
You always pinch it on the top, unless you're doing the lazy woman's one like mine, which is with a blob that you cut. We call it a blobba, because it's a blobba. It's a blob and a challah, so it's a blobba. Yeah. How's it going over there? Hey Maya, I see you joined us. How's your challah going? Golly good? Oh, Ayala and Adam, everyone's there. Who else is there making challah? Okay, Susanna, how's it going? And Sharon, how's it going? I don't see Sharon. I see 2 beautiful. Oh, there she is. Hi. Hi, girls. Are you having fun also? Okay. Is this a fun thing? We're all in our own homes, but we're all so united making challah. I love it. If you add our strands, our love
At this point, we're going to let it rise for an hour, right?
Well, once it's shaped, I would let it rise. Yeah, I put it on the parchment and let it rise. Go ahead.
Okay, so we're going to do the 5 strand one more time.
Hold on, Susanna. Susanna, you tell us when you want Menucha will show us how to stuff a strand with chocolate.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So my strand,
This also works for jalapenos.
so it's for jalapenos, really anything that you want to put inside your challah. I find that when I'm doing a roll that stuff, I want to make it a little bit thicker. So the method works. Okay, so I'm going to show you. So we have our roll. It's a little short, but it's very thick. I'm going to flatten it out. Nice and fat, so we will have something that the chocolate chips can cradle in.
Am I in the camera?
Okay. Okay, mine is nice and flat now. You guys see? Hi, Danielle.
Well, I want to put my hands.
It's just a nice fat strand.
Flat and wide. Move that blob in the middle. There you go.
So thin, nice. You want to try to get it as wide as you could, so you can get your filling inside. I'm using chocolate chips. You can use whatever you want to fill your challah with. I'm going to fill it, and I'm going to try to put it in the middle. Try to put your filling in the middle. You want a decent amount that you'll have enough to close it.
You don't want to overstuff it, because if you stuff it too much, you won't be able to close it.
Okay, so kind of roll it.
Flatten it. Yeah.
Want to make a tube, like a tube?
No, not like a tube, like a flat piece of dough, and then you put it in the center, and then you're going to pinch it closed. Show.
Okay. But when after you pinched it, it kind of is like a tube.
Yeah. Basically, it's a tube with the chocolate or jalapeno stuffed inside. Exactly.
Personally, I like to bake my filling, if it's chocolate chips, just bring it into the challah
Press
so
it
it
in.
sticks, so it's easier to do.
Seal it.
So I'm going to now, interesting enough, I have my filling all inside. You can put as much as you can. I'm doing this with a knot. I'm doing a knot filled with challah, but you can do a regular challah and just do more strand. We're going to pull the edges and stuff, and we're going to pinch close. Pull.
For each, if you're making a 3-strand challah, you would do each one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to
Must you look at the
pull
chats.
and
Pull and pinch.
pull and pinch.
You're blocking it with your hands, so do it this way. Show, pull, pinch. Ooh, are there some questions on the bottom?
Mia and Sienna are,
What are the questions from them, girls?
Mia and Sienna are putting in chocolate chips.
Yeah, chocolate chips are delicious in challah. We love chocolate chips in challah. Okay, my flour was whole wheat King Arthur and regular King Arthur. I think the flour I used, that was mine, the girls' flour, and I think y'all's flour was gold medal flour, all purpose. You don't have to use baking bread flour, you can. You know what? I don't know. Nowadays, if I can get flour, the challah kits, I think I use like 30 pounds of flour for. So if I had to get what I could get. You know what I mean? So, okay, Musty's going to quickly, show us.
Yes.
Okay, so I knotted mine as what we showed earlier how to knot it. Mine is knotted. I like to put some, if it's some leaking out, it's okay, but I like to put some on, just like 1 or 2 on the top to indicate that it's a chocolate challah, so no one bites into a chocolate challah when they wanted a regular challah, no one bites into a regular challah when they wanted a chocolate challah. So, yeah.
She basically should run the kitchen. Okay. Musty's going to show us the 5 braid one more time. Susanna, you ready for the 5? Slow for Susanna.
Sure.
With a smile. Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna take our strand that's on the far right. So we have 5 strands here. So we're gonna take the one that's on the far right and put it over 2 strands. So we're gonna put it
In the center.
in the center, in the middle, over 2 strands. Okay? Then we're gonna take the left and put it over 2.
Okay, she's back again. Do you hear her? Go ahead.
Okay, so now we're gonna take our left strand and just put it over 2 strands to the center, and then right strand, left
Show it very clearly.
strand, like this. See? 2 strands.
So 2 over,
2 over, 2 over, 2 over, 2
So
over.
right over 2,
Move it.
left over 2, right over 2, left over 2, right over 2, left over 2. It's getting confused now, just saying the same words over and over again. Right over 2, left over 2, and then there you have it. Where it's called, you just pinch the ends, tuck it under, and there you got it. Your beautiful challah.
Okay, now let's discuss a little bit of baking strategy. Now we have, get that big baking sheet. Now we have our pan and our parchment. Now anyone who's been following us knows during quarantine and social distancing or wherever we're at right now, we've been doing Shabbat to go every week for students. So we've sent, I think so far, and we've sent over 320 meals since Shabbat to go started. I don't even know what week we're on. I think 16, I think 25, I think 98,000. I have no idea, just all blurry. But one of the things we make sure we do is that students get a piece of yummy fresh challah on Friday for Shabbat. Now our little mini ones, like this, they'll bake quicker than our big ones. So whenever I'm baking, I try to keep divided on the baking sheet the little ones and the big ones. So even if I make, let's say, a 2-pound challah and a 1-pound challah, I try to make all the 1-pounders together and then the 2-pounders because they need a different amount of time. Depending on these ones will be ready in like 20 minutes, whereas this one can take an hour. Okay? Yeah.
what do you mean for rising?
No, for rising, also in addition for baking. So the baking time varies depending on the size. It's like if I make a big cake or a small cake, right? Now, Mussi's going to show us the next step, which is egg wash. We're not rushing through everything, but we're rushing through everything. We're making our egg wash. Mussia, again, explain.
Okay, so we're gonna check our eyes because we want to check them for blood spots because blood isn't kosher, so we don't want to eat blood. So we're just gonna crack our egg, checking in our bowl.
With a fork, I'll get you a fork.
If there's no blood, I'm just gonna pour it into our bigger glass bowl. And then you're gonna take a fork. Thank you.
She has a good sous chef.
A fork.
Every star, kitchen star needs a sous chef.
And then you're just gonna whisk it up like you do when you're making scrambled eggs. So we're just gonna mix it all up. Kind of noisy.
Vanya,
Yes.
can I use this yeast?
Sure. It's soup rapid rise yeast. Absolutely. Yeah. You know what? We actually, before, I don't know why, we stocked up on yeast ages ago, and I'm really glad I did, because if anyone runs out of yeast in the entire Bryan College Station area, I may or may not have hoarded a few pounds. That was I had no idea what was coming. I guess I never want to be stuck without yeast, right?
That was us with toilet paper.
Well, if you need toilet paper, we also have. The lines are going to be at the door. No, absolutely.
We need to.
Good to know about the yeast because I've been looking for it. I have a little bit left.
If you ever need, just give us a holler. Here at Chabad, we do what we can.
I was even going to drive out to Sugar Land to get some.
No. Never do that. Always call us first. Okay.
No, we don't have it.
That's insane. Well, we have. I think I have 2 pounds of yeast left. I shouldn't have said that live. I'll have a line at the door. I'm going to be robbed for my yeast. Be careful.
Yeast robbing.
Okay. All right. Now that Mussia checked this and whisked it. Now, here's an interesting thing. If you want to add a hint of sweetness to your egg wash, you can add vanilla extract or honey to the egg wash. I always do it before Rosh Hashanah because it's absolutely delicious. When I'm doing a sweet challah, if you're doing a raisin challah, Dahlia, feel free. Put a little bit of vanilla extract, a little bit of honey in it. How's everyone doing, Sharon? How's your challah dough? Oh, I see a gigum. That's a good sign. Girls, it looks like your hands are dirty. I mean, once you have this kind of hands, you're making it. Sarah, how's everyone's challah over there? Girls, how are the challahs?
Muted.
I don't want her to eat.
Sarah, you guys are muted.
We made chocolate chip and raisin challah.
Ooh! Delicious. I'm keeping these plain. Yeah. Now, Menucha Menucha did a classic 3-braider. A bitty classic 3-braider.
Just want to make sure to do really good. Okay.
Yeah. Explain.
Okay, so once we have our eggs
Egg wash.
whipped up, our eggs whipped up, so now they're egg washed. We're gonna just take a
Egg brush.
egg brush, pastry brush.
Pastry brush.
I like to call it a paintbrush, but whatever. It's a good cooking paintbrush. And we're just gonna, take some and just brush it onto our challah. This will give it a great, golden skin, I guess.
Sheen.
Shine, whatever. All of the above. And then you could add your toppings on top of your eggs. So I'm just egging these challahs.
How's Andy doing? I see Andy here. Dahlia, how's your dough coming along?
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, how's it coming along?
She's just acted like she wants to do the braiding, and I said no problem.
Golly, how about you guys? How's it going? See everyone's, looks like they're rocking.
We have this challah.
Show us your challahs. Ooh. I feel like we should all take hold up our challah picture. Just or messy hands.
Whichever one, they both have challah.
So Mussi's brushing the egg and egging each challah. Here's where you can put cinnamon and sugar, toppings, Look, we have Trader Joe's onion salt can go on one. Poppy seeds or sesame seeds can go on the other. Super trendy is everything but the bagel seasoning. Now, believe it or not, this jar was full to the top at the beginning of the semester. But this you can get in either Trader Joe's or a big jar if you need this much. I can't believe we went through this much. And I'm gonna sprinkle some on some of them.
Already. Make sure not on the chocolate.
Obviously not on the chocolate. Yes, you can put a little vanilla or honey in your egg wash. If I'm making a savory one, I don't. Like if I'm making a garlic one or onion salt one, or you know, I do it if I'm doing like a raisin or a cinnamon. Yeah, sure, you'll do it.
Cinnamon sugar. Okay. So we'll save some for that. Here I got some of my cinnamon and sugar. And I'm just gonna put it all once the egg wash is on. It'll
It's like
really,
glue.
it'll stick to it. Without it, egg wash is like edible glue. Yeah, edible glue. That sounds so good. No, it's not that. That's a lot of cinnamon and sugar.
Okay.
We're gonna be plain.
Now we could let this rise. I would let it rise at probably about an hour until it's double. If your kitchen is warm and humid, it will rise. It will rise quicker. And I'm gonna let it rise on our cooling rack, and then I'm gonna also burn our challah, the mitzvah, the part that we actually took off. We'll burn it. We'll wrap it in foil and burn it in the fire. Not when we're baking the food.
My onion salt. No.
Yeah, put them on.
Maya, I have a question.
Go for it, Sharon.
How long do we let them rise for? I know you've said it several times. I just couldn't hear.
I think I would let it rise for about an hour if you can. But this is the deal. Challah, once it rises, you gotta bake it. Once you bake it, you gotta cool it, and then you can put it away. You don't want to put challah, wrap it up, because then you'll get what? Soggy challah. So I would definitely bake it. Work backward from what time you need to go to sleep tonight, and then factor in cooling and wrapping. And then from there, you want to factor in an hour. Let's say an hour bake time, an hour cool time, and then wrapping. And then obviously, if you let it rise more, great. But it will. The oven. It's gonna rise in the oven too. Like you put it in, it doubles in the oven. If your yeast was active, you could even like bake it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, of course. Basically, you want it light and fluffy. The more it rises, the lighter and fluffier it is.
I don't think we have any plain ones.
Okay, that's fine. The other thing we don't want to do is we don't want to handle your dough once it's shaped too much, because you don't want it, once it starts shaped and it's rising, you don't want to start moving it or poking it, because then you'll deflate it like a balloon, like you'll pop it, it'll get wrinkly and shrivelly. So you want to let it, like, egg it, flavor it, let it rise.
Should I egg this?
Yes, Mussie's now going to egg the big ones. I'm going to let these rise on the side.
Are we doing any toppings on these ones?
You can.
Okay.
But keep one at least, give at least two.
At least two plain ones.
No sweet. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Mussie's now using the egg wash to 350. Now, I really feel bad because our commercial oven here bakes my challah. I'm not telling you how quickly, because it'll make you want a commercial oven in your house. But a commercial oven bakes the challah in about 20 minutes. In a home oven, that's about 45 minutes. So I would say you want to bake it for about half hour to 45 minutes, depending on your oven. In a residential oven, halfway through, you want to kind of probably take it out and rotate it if it's not convection, because then one side will be more golden brown and more crispy. You want to maybe rotate it halfway through if you can. The other thing you can do is once your challah comes out of the oven, if you're going to, let's say, use 2 for Shabbat this week, but you have extras, you can put it straight in the freezer wrapped in foil. And then if you pull it out and pop it straight in the oven with the foil, in a hot oven, it literally frozen from the freezer in the foil in the oven, it will taste like you have fresh, delicious challah. It's a great life hack. We always like life hacks.
Say that again, putting it in the freezer.
Wrap it in either plastic wrap or whatever you want to wrap it in, a Ziploc bag, plastic wrap. But when you want to reheat it, I wouldn't take it out, thaw it on the counter, and then heat it. I would take it out frozen, wrap it in foil, and pop it in a hot oven. And then you'll end up with, like, you'll take it out, it'll feel as if you just made the dough. It smells, it's just, gives a nice crusty, it reheats better. I'm gonna go wash my hands are still holly.
What is a good, because you got it wrapped in foil, so it's already cooked. So about how long do you think leaving it in the oven to warm back up would take?
If it's a hot oven, 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if it's a hot oven, 15 minutes, not longer. It should be pretty good. Anyone want to show us their beautiful challahs? Anyone want to show off their beautiful challahs? We'd love to see some beautiful challahs.
I'm doing a whole wheat with onion salt.
Yeah, we got
Look at these challahs. Girls, you want to show us your challahs? Oh, wow. Awesome.
Let me see those colors.
Look at that.
Oh, look, it's gorgeous.
Stunning. And I noticed stuffed. Connor, I loved your challahs. They look great. So you guys just made about 3 big challahs, right? 3 or 4. 4 big challahs. 4 nice size challahs.
What?
Wow, look at those. Beautiful.
Should
Okay.
I do 1 cinnamon sugar?
No, please, no, just let's
Just
do
one
everything.
salt?
I want everything because we love everything. Everyone loves everything. Where's the everything?
Here.
No, that's just.
Oh. Where's
Everything. All right, guys, have a good night if you're done. And if you're not, any other questions or any other things, any thoughts, ideas? Yes.
So after you put the egg, you did the egg wash, now let it sit out for an hour?
About an hour. You could let it do a little less. Like I said, work backward and try to figure out you need at least an hour of baking and an hour of cooling before you can go to bed. So if your bedtime's 9 o'clock, which clearly ours is not, whatever yours is, work backwards. But if your oven, one more thing, put it in a preheated oven, 350.
50, right?
Yeah, 350.
We ended up not using the salt, so did that matter?
You ended up not using what?
Not using the salt.
Oh, that's fine. It just won't have salt. It's fine. No problem. It's gonna, especially yours is stuffed with chocolate. It's not gonna affect the texture. It may affect a little bit the flavor, so you'll add salt when you eat it. It's not gonna affect the baking. It's good.
Well, these are all raisins and chocolate chips and...
You're fine. Enjoy it. It's gonna be delicious. You know what else challah does really well? It makes really nice French toast.
Oh, yeah.
Really nice French toast.
Right.
Guys, this was fun. We're going to do more fun stuff. If anyone ever wants to do more of these fun and interactive cooking or crafting or anything like that, keep us posted. We have more ideas. Any other questions?
Bye.